if you've seen on MotorInc, when we've spoken about any of these Skoda VW group cars, the base engine is the one that we have not recommended.
Correct.
If at all, we've said pick the manual over the automatic.
Yep. What?
Solved.
How did they solve it?
Dude, it's unbelievable. Like, I got in the night before the drive. So Skoda had many people from the HQ here, from the global team, because I mean that's the importance of the product for them.
Right.
And I was telling them that, like, I'm a skeptic of this engine and gearbox combination, full stop, even the engine. And we've spoken about Skoda, we've spoken about Mahindra, we've spoken about Citroen, all of which use 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engines.
Correct.
All of which use this Aisin 6-speed automatic, and all of them have had the same problem of this surginess at low speeds, and then just feeling, too sudden in slow traffic.
Too head noddy.
Yeah.
I've been listening.
And see, that's an interesting one that he's pulled off, because that's usually a phrase you use with AMTs.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's what happens.
That's annoyingly manual transmission.
Annoying manual transmission. What was it? No. Okay. So we've always said that this engine and automatic will be perceived as an easy pick for newer drivers, or the less enthusiastic, the more practical minded. But was it practical enough?
Correct.
No.
It will not improve their driving experience to the point where it is completely effortless and in the background like you want it.
It should put you at ease. That's my basic expectation, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case earlier. So when I drove the car the next day, and I was just like, this feels nothing like what I remember. And I started with the automatic. Said, and on paper, the specs are the same. There's nothing that's changed. They said, it's the same thing. We've just carried it over. And I drove it. I'm like, this is like nothing I remember before. I'm driving, and Goa, like I told you, is like the southernmost part of Delhi. And so traffic was not hard to find. But even in traffic,
it was smooth and easy.
In my notes, I had one time when I could feel that shunt or surge. I'm looking for opportunities to experience that sense of I have to stay on the brake to keep the car in control at low speeds.
Correct. No?
No.
Okay. So what did they change?
So I drove for about 80, 90 kilometers, and then there was a stop point where I had to switch to the manual.
Right.
And that was the time to once again connect with the team from Skoda. And I told them exactly this. This feels nothing like it. And credit to Peter, he immediately said, we did one change last year. We have not spoken about it. So what was it? He said, we changed, they have localized something to do with the exhaust system, the CatCon. And the change, in a way, is significant because they've changed the flow path and they've changed the staging of the CatCons. It used to be a 4-stage CatCon setup and they've gone to a 2-stage setup now. So the diameters are different and the pipe shape has changed, all of that. So they showed me all of those things, and he said that the maps would have been changed to accommodate it, for that.
In that you've got this side effect.
Because last year, so anybody who's bought one of these cars post May 2024, manufacturing post May 2024, should have the updated tune for the 1-liter engine.
You are the person wondering, why does MotorInc keep saying that these cars are like jokey at low speed?
Correct.
They are not.
So some of you would have commented and have been like, I have no idea how you could say that.
In this video, there seems to be more con than cat. But when they fix the cat con, they fix the problem. So now you know.
So again, that confirmation I asked, so this was confirmed that the exhaust system has changed. And for those of you who know about this, that the exhaust creates a back pressure. It affects how the engine is pumping air into it, how the fuel then is dosed, all of that. And overall, let me just say that a very simple experience, right? When you would typically go over a speed breaker.
Correct.
In the older cars, you'd keep the brake covered to drive smoothly over it because it had this tendency to accelerate.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
You remember the older Rapid?
Yeah.
You remember how it used to surge? That was like frantic.
Yeah.
And they calmed it down a little bit when the A0 Iron cars happened. But this is now like well behaved.
Super.
Like
Kylaq.
So you drive up to a speed breaker, completely lift off the brake,
and it stays
stay off the throttle, and it just rolls like how you would expect a car to do
Very nice.
gracefully,
Very nice.
right? Without having to be managed.
Correct.
Lovely. What more do I want? So the
Awesome.
6-speed automatic is automatically feeling good with this engine, because now it's not trying to rush around. Then you don't feel the shifts that obviously because of that rush of torque. So the whole engine, and this is the thing, interestingly, I drove the manual after that, and I don't think I enjoy. Okay, admission. When you go to these drives, you're like, you have to switch between variants, and that's always a hassle, and because you have to wait for somebody else to turn up or whatever. In this case, I was like, yeah, it's okay if I don't drive the manual, forget it, right? But then I did want to drive it, and it did turn up on time and all of that, because this was a slightly rushed drive. It did come, and I have not enjoyed driving a manual. This manual, I did not expect it.
Okay.
Because it was easy. I did not have to work the gearbox as much as I would have expected to. And that's because the tune for the engine has changed.
Okay.
Now, third gear. I brought it down to in third gear to about 17, 18 km. Right? Just saying, let's see at which point it starts stuttering. It's not the happiest there.
No.
It's absolutely smooth at about 25 or so. But you can. So basically, in city conditions, you can leave it in third gear.
So it's a Maruti gearbox.
So the tune is good, man, and for a turbo.
Yeah. No, and what I mean by Maruti gearbox is that this is traditionally the third gear is a Maruti gearbox strength. They really know how to do that one gear, and you can do a lot of your driving in just third.
Yeah.
And this is sounding exactly like that.
And it's really impressive because it is a turbo. And all the memories of how the tune was earlier to what it is now, world of a difference.
Nice.
And the reason why this really hit home was because on this second leg, I was also going to be driven around.
Okay.
So that I could spend time in the backseat. And I did spend time there. I told you it was comfortable. I enjoyed time there. But after I was done making my notes for that, I was like, I want to drive again.
Nice.
So I asked the driver to step out, and he sat up front, and I said, I'm going to drive. And
Very cool.
then drove all the way to the airport.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed.
It sounds like you had fun.
Hello. If you enjoyed this clip, which means you're into good conversations, and that's what we're all about. It's really hard packing in the essence of an idea into a 60-second clip. This 3-minute, 5-minute video would have given you a sense of that. And you can enjoy this entire conversation in its full glory on the MotorInc channel. So why don't you head out over there and subscribe to that? And you could subscribe to this channel as well if you enjoyed it.